that we quarrel among ourselves, but when it comes down to it, don't step on nobody's toe. We all coming together. Just look at Plastic Bag going to the stadium. You might not like what he's saying, but we all going in red. That is who a Philippine is. And I'm a proud Philippine. But let me tell you something. My pride waning. I am no longer as proud as I used to be about being in my home, St. Philip, in the east, where the sun rises first. There's just something about the East. I have spent nearly all my life here. Grew up here, went to school in St. Philip North, went to school, work now, and will continue to live in St. Philip as long as I am able. Ladies and gentlemen, my pride is not like the Timex watch. It's taken a licking, and it probably won't to keep on ticking under this DLP administration. What have we in St. Philip done to deserve such treatment? St. Philip is the only parish on the island with 3 members of parliament that the St. Philip family have been supporting for 10 continuous years. In the case of Michael Ashley, 15 years. And what have they done for you? Ask yourself that. We have been loyal, fiercely loyal to the DLP, and we deserve a little better. Admit it. We have welcomed even the DLP members who are not the so-called Philippines. We call them communes. We have welcomed Chris Sinclair. We have welcomed Stephen Lashley. Why do we deserve such treatment? What have we gotten in return for our loyalty? Nothing. Zero. Zilch. Nada. All of them words. But let me get to Michael Ashley. Breeze. We have a representative in St. Philip North whom my dad calls Minister You ask him a question and the answer is Minister what about the bad roads? What are you doing about them? What about the people in the Scotland district that the road falling in? What about the transport board, the buses? The people can't get in the buses to get home, to get school, to get back home from work. This is what we have come to expect. And then to top it all off, he's coming with the, what he call the magic of politics, the hocus pocus, sleight of hand, where he brings another issue to distract you from the real issues. I mean, who really cares at this point in time about the tint in your car windows? Small problems. Very small problems. Then, my boy Indar has Adriel Braffett, the Attorney General Extraordinaire, to deal with. But what has he done for you lately? Zero. Zilch. Nil. Nada. Nothing. Crime in St. Philip is on the rise. Now, growing up in St. Philip, even as a younger adult, young already, something like murders and drive-by shootings used to happen in town. We didn't know nothing about that. You used to hear it on the CBC News at 7 o'clock or read it in the newsprint or Rediffusion. That's how far back. But now we have crime in our own backyards. Just the other day in Blaze Hill, one of our own, Michael Mack, got killed and left for dead in a half-dug grave. Just up the road in Marleyville, 2 of our own, Rico and Ronaldo, shot down for no particular reason. Apple Hall the other day, just up the road, drive-by shootings, people running through the district with guns. St. Philip don't know nothing about that. Crime is now in our backyards, let me tell you, it's getting too close to home. And then the posing of pictures. It can't be only about pictures. What about the families? The families have to live with all of this. And then we have a man, Adriel Braffett, who feels justified. Justified in saying that Trinidad has it worse. Take it from me, I'm a doctor. When you got a small illness, somebody in the world got it worse. When you're on your deathbed and struggling, you don't care who else sick, you want to get better. It has nothing to do with who else got it worse. But now he's also doing the hocus pocus politics, the distraction. We have a team that's coming up with legislation to allow the police to get in your house at 2 o'clock in the morning and get a heart attack. That allows police to tell you can't move from home. You stuck there till whatever time you feel like. It must have its worth somewhere under something, but you cannot do these things without proper consultation with the public. We are who have put the Democratic Labour Party in power, and they are failing to recognize our power. They don't want to hear the people that put them there. Then my boy John King, over in St. Philip West, Dr. Eswick. Eswick, where are you? Hoodie is Mary. What have you done? Nothing. Zero. Nada. Zilch. Where are the initiatives for agriculture? Not a peep from you about the water situation, St. Johnston's, Georges, etc. Not a peep about the South Coast sewage project when sewage knocking all around your feet and tourists out there walking about in slippers. John, as the young people will say, that easy. What has St. Philip come to? We have an infrastructure where the schools need help. I was dealing and I will continue to deal with the situation in St. Philip North St. Mark's School that is in utter disrepair. Mr. Jones saw us on Facebook and on the news picketing, and he got a little bit of garbage removed and some tiles, but there's so much more work to be done out here. Cool. We have community centers all around Barbados, most built around election time, but they really don't fit the populace. Not many young people use them. We have a few young people that like them for line dancing, but they need to be a little more applicable. Where's the sports? Where's the recreation? I know Cappy Greenwich had introduced a lot of things. Dominoes, cricket, school quizzes, football, entered the LP, done. And garbage everywhere. Mr. Law, how low can you go, Mr. Law? Real low. Bush, and garbage. In my short 46 years, I have never, ever seen St. Philip in the state that it is now. And I have people older than me that are saying the same thing. Never have I seen so many young people walking about with nothing to do. No jobs to go to. No money in the pocket, but still have children to send to school and to feed. Never seen St. Philip like this. Never saw grannies and granddaddies struggle to buy medication. Pension checks don't mean much, depending on the family, but we have come to a situation where the tablets, they decide take one today, not tomorrow, take one today. How is that any good? We have old people that can't even afford to put a little collection in the plate at church on Sundays. What has Barbados come to? What has St. Philip, my St. Philip in the East come to? But no one is spared, not the lower class, not the middle class, not the upper class. Walk around my parish, go in Apple Hall, for instance, look for the for sale signs on houses and properties. And I'm sure a lot of these people bought these properties with the intention of leaving them for the children when they die. What about that legacy? That is our culture, ladies and gentlemen, to own a piece of the rock and to leave something for your children to make it better for them. People think that when you have a DR in front of your name that you're rich. I have the same struggles like all of you out there. My office is like maybe half of what it used to be, which means money coming in is half of what it used to be, but mortgage is the same. Food prices gone up. We struggle. We had a government that put registration fees from what? $750 to $2,500 in a minute. They now split it in half, thank dear sweet Lord. People out there like me cannot get back the income tax return. What about the reverse tax credit? People that can't work for X amount of money used to get back, what, $1,300? Now if you're lucky, you're getting back $650. How is that fair? You don't get no more. How is that fair? And you know what's happening? Fronda and his band of brothers and sisters, hoping that you forget. Hoping that you get bored with the BLP coming up here when the week come and talking about the issues. Hoping that he can fool you again. But I will tell you this. The DLP, under the leadership of Mayor Motley, will make you remember. Will put it in your minds because it's important to us, these issues. Whew. They're stretching out elections, hoping to offer you some sweeties at the end of it. But sweeties for children, ladies and gentlemen. We are big men and women who can make decisions. My St. Philip people, you know better. Some of the brightest minds and the best talents have come out of the East. And this is now threatened even by the callous introduction of fees at tertiary institutions. How can, as Dwight was saying, how on earth can the playing field be level again when the daughter of a carpenter cannot afford to go to UE, but the daughter of a lawyer can? Gone are the days where you should be deciding you got money so you could get educated. That is slave days, it's over. But Fronda Stroke cares that much about you, and it's not fair. Now, I will never stand up here, never, ever, 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 and call any member of the DLP an idiot. Not when we got minds like Kelman, who decided that chikungunya was invented by the BLP. Not when we got ministers going in the seawater to prove that you're not infected, and I hoping to God nothing then crawl up to you know what. What I will say is that the Fronda Stroke administration cares nothing for you. They care nothing for your children. They care nothing for your children's future. If they cared, do you think you will find pit toilets in Eastbourne? Outside bathrooms where an old lady has to pass through the rain to get to a shower? Not if they cared. If they cared, you think you would have sewers swimming around everybody's feet in the South Coast, people having to give up their homes to move somewhere else for the time being because the grandchildren getting sick. If they cared, we won't be home shuffling bills to decide which one to pay first because the daughter got to go to the dentist next month. They don't care about you. If they cared about you, the QEH wouldn't look like that. Driving the QEH yard. You don't even get him first. The yard worse than the potholes. It's embarrassing. The building is shabby. The waiting time in A&E, I ain't blaming the doctors. We got the best doctors in the region at QEH. But the waiting time's long and hard. I had a patient that came to me because she waited for 12 hours at the hospital. She said she went back the next day after going across the, fast track, and was in time to hear her name called from the previous day. That's how long we talking about. People frightened to go into QEH because they think it's a one-way street. You just don't come out. We could do better. We have a government that is educating, if they could pay for it, medical students coming out as interns and don't have the space for them. These medical students travel abroad to get the education. Come back home for a job, no space for them. We have a Ministry of Health where a minister is getting into the day-to-day runnings of the hospital to decide which doctors will be hired from the internship program. These things are wrong. You had no right in there. I know of instances where the workers in the lab, a nasty place with bacteria and organisms, and they were forced to walk with their own soap, sanitizer, and tissues. I know about that firsthand. This is what Barbados has come to. But I am here, ladies and gentlemen, to tell you that there is hope. There is hope under the BLP administration led by Mia Amor Motley. I will share, coming next election, this parish, this great parish of St. Philip, with my two brothers, big brothers, from our other mothers, John King and Indar Weir. And we will get this country right. The three wise persons, Dwight, from the east will be taking over. John King taking it back. Indar Weir taking it back. Sonia Browne taking it back. And it can happen. Yeah, it's cold. I will tell you now, the three wise men come in and the butcher, the baker, and the candlestick maker going out to sea. BLP is back. Don't worry about the little parties. Don't worry about the UPP. My daughter was learning to spell and she said UP up, UPP up. That's as much as the worth. That is as much. UPP, Solutions Barbados, waste of time. Bunch of disgruntled people who hoping to get you to vote for them and taking the chance that the DLP will get back in. Ignore them. Them ain't ready yet. Right, Cynthia? Ah, thank you. But this is what Barbados has come to. This is what my St. Philip has come to. Almost rubbish. You see, many bring people from the airport. Where'd they go? When they bring people from the airport, you keep them in conversation because you're too ashamed to let them see how much potholes they're dropping into. We could do better. Do not be fooled by the administration, by this administration. Do not forget what they have put you through, St. Philip, over the last 10 to 15 years. Bear this in mind. Ladies and gentlemen, I leave you to think. I leave you for the winds of change to blow. My jacket is supposed to be coming and I done and didn't get here yet. Have a good night and God bless.
Driver cannot drive. Yes. Wanna cool? It can get hot in here though. It can get hot. Good night, my colleague Cynthia Ford. We getting ready for next week. We can do the dog in the house. You know what I want to do? They're trying the best to approve some monies so that when Parliament dissolves, they can do what they want to do. They call it liquid money. But we making sure we putting them on notice next week. Including the permanent secretaries, because they have a duty too. Don't let the politicians dictate them. They run the ministries and not the politicians. So we putting them on notice. We looking out. We ain't putting the boy in a wheelchair and all fair and done. We looking out. We making sure that we do what is right. And you heard from the wise woman tonight. And we have two wise men coming. But I want you, as you engage the people of this country, to distinguish the Barbados Labour Party from the Democratic Labour Party. We have to continue to distinguish the Barbados Labour Party from the Democratic Labour Party. We know they have failed. We cannot focus on the failures, but we have to tell the people what we will do differently. And I started tonight by telling you visionary leadership, effective leadership, and I give you some examples of what we, the Barbados Labour Party, aspire to do, and the solemn promise that we have made with the people of this country that we will uphold. Now, we have in this party a new social consciousness that distinguishes us from the Democratic Labour Party. And we have a legacy of bringing some of the most far-reaching legislation on the statute books, like the right to vote, the Tenantry Freehold Purchase Act, and the act that ended bastardry. That act, Cynthia, that ended bastardry, that allowed those children that were born out of wedlock to enjoy the same rights as those that were married, that were born in wedlock. The Barbados Labour Party. That's a new social consciousness. But we are focusing further, and we will allow you to know that the Barbados Labour